and I looked at everything that she wanted to do. She's like, all right, how much would this cost me? And I was like, you look at it and you're like, dang, this is actually going to be a whole lot of work. And I quoted her something. It was $4,000, and I was like
Yeah.
shaking when I sent her this email. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to actually tell someone to pay me $4,000.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then when I sent the proposal, she loved it, and she was like, my husband and I want to do this. Like we're all in right now. And I was like,
Yeah.
no
Fantastic.
way, no way, you're kidding me. And that was the moment I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this can work.
Let's go.
Alex, hey man.
What is happening? How are you,
What's
Ross?
up? I'm good. How are you, man?
Dude,
Thanks for coming on.
I am freaking fabulous. Is there audio feedback at all?
No, you're pretty good. You're pretty good.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
Awesome.
thanks for
So,
having me on here.
yeah, absolutely nice. My pleasure. Thank you for coming on. And everyone at home, thank you for investing your time with us watching today. So, Alex Engar, he's a doctorate of physical therapy. We just call it basically PTs over here.
Yeah,
So, man, I'd
physio,
love to.
right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like physios are fantastic. Like they help my back so much. Hey, Laura, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, man, I'm really excited to having you come on the show, and I think everyone is as well. And the fact that you had a group that how large is your group now? What's it grown to?
Man, we've had a lot of group growth recently. We're up to almost 800 members right now.
That's
We haven't
phenomenal.
caught up to you guys
Congrats.
yet, man. Niche entrepreneur community is off the rails quick with its growth.
Well, everyone's just such an engaging member of the audience, and everyone is just so happy to just share information and stuff like. So I'm so just grateful with everyone's contribution. Yeah, the audio does cut out a little bit sometimes. Amanda just mentioned that, but for the most part, we're good. But yeah, man,
Okay,
I can hear you fine. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So everyone
sweet.
tuning in home, Alex had a group of only 500 at the time. Launched a $99 course, which is super cheap, and he managed to make 10K. So really looking forward to how he managed to do that. So yeah, Alex, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. And yeah, I'd love to hear how you got into even just into physiotherapy and everything. Because over here in Australia, we don't have it as a doctorate as such. It's a very
Okay.
different level of grading. So yeah, I'm really interested to even just hear about that because I don't know too much about the whole doctorate thing over in the States. So that's pretty cool in itself.
Yeah, man. So the way it works over here, you have to get a doctorate degree to be a physical therapist nowadays. And so
Okay.
I
Yep.
knew from early on that I liked health. I liked being able to help people solve their own problems. And that's really kind of that combination was what drove me into the profession in the first place. And then as I got into
Yeah.
school, the idea that, well, gosh, like the way healthcare is going in the United States and honestly globally a little bit, there's a
Yep.
very hard cap to your progression as a clinician. You can make it to a certain point and see a certain number of patients per day, but if you want to grow beyond that, you have to go into business, honestly. And there was
Exactly.
little
Yeah.
to no business education throughout that doctorate program. And I
Okay.
started getting this itch where it was like, man, I know that I'm going to need to do something more with my life, which is a
Yeah.
terrible thing to say. I love the profession and there's a lot that it offers, but I realized really early on that if I was going to keep going down that route, I wasn't going to be fulfilled long term. And so I was
Yep.
sitting there in my doctoral classes learning about online business, and and everyone in my class knew me as sort of the tech guy who could always, fix the projector if it wasn't
Yeah.
working or set up PowerPoints
Nice.
for everyone. And I've
Yeah.
just taken that skill and applied it online, and realized that there was a huge need within my community, within physical therapists and healthcare providers, to understand online business, understand advertising and marketing. And
That's
I just started
fantastic.
diving into that. And so I've been out, I haven't even been out of school a year yet. And I'm honestly not practicing at all as a physical therapist at this point.
Yeah, man, congrats. That's awesome. Like, if you're in a position where you're enjoying it and, you love the industry, but you feel that there's something more, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that to try and, better yourself in one way or another, personal development and business development as well. So congratulations, man. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much. It's
Yeah.
been a crazy ride, man. I think about like trying to start off something like this. I imagine this
Yeah.
being like a 2 or 3 year growth curve to where I could actually support myself online. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, stuff just started clicking, and it's happened so fast. Like I'm still in shock. Like I'll get these people. this was a great experience the other day, for example. I had someone reach out to me who connected me with someone else. And the friend said, "Hey, Alex, this guy really wanted to talk to you, but he was nervous to approach you." And I was like, "Wait, what? What?
That's great.
Like,
Yeah.
no, no."
Yeah.
And so it's just so cool to see what you can do online once you assert yourself and you're like, dang it, I'm
Yeah.
just going to go all out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Drew, thanks for tuning in, man. But I know what you mean. Like, it's really just a case of, who are we? Like, it's just, we're just regular people. But I get messages. It's like, oh, hey, thank you so much. Like, the periodic, like, oh, mini celebrity gets thrown around. I'm like, no, like, not at all. Like, you can see him in the supermarket. Like, definitely not. But I'm so humbled by the response of everyone watching the show and within the group. They're like, it's great to see. So I really do appreciate everyone that does tune in. And yeah, man, that's cool. Like, for someone to be nervous to reach out and then realize that, just an everyday guy and you're happy to help. And I'm the same. I'll get messages and they're like, oh, can you recommend this or that? Or what's your experience in this? And it's always a case of, hey, I'm no expert, but my personal experience, I've found that
Right.
X, Y, and Z has worked in that scenario. Or if it's something I don't know, I'll say, hey, look, I don't know, but I can connect you in with someone that does. So, it's really cool in that regard. And the way that we can now leverage the internet is just fantastic. Like, it's just
It's crazy.
unbelievable what we can now do.
It's
Like
crazy.
this right here, like with you and I chatting, like it never would have been possible. We never would have met. And it's just, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Like, it's just fantastic. So, got to love the internet for it and Facebook. as much
I
as
know, right? We owe
yeah, I
them a
know, like,
lot.
as much as they got a few things that still need to work out the kinks, like we owe them so much. So yeah, but no, that's really cool. So you've been out of school pretty much just a year, and you've already managed to sustain yourself online, which is amazing. You're living the dream. I'd love to hear more about that.
So, so it's funny you talk about that. Like I still don't feel like I'm at that point at all. But like when I think about it, like money wise, I am. I mean, I'm pretty much at the point now where I've replaced a physical therapist salary here,
That's phenomenal.
and it's like it allows. What's that?
I say it's phenomenal. Like, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm still blown away by it. But it's just so crazy to think that the internet, like you mentioned the course that we put out. Um, I've always like I've been of the mindset that, oh yeah, I could do something online, like this could totally work. But everyone around you doesn't have the same mindset that you do as an entrepreneur sometimes. And so I'm
Yeah,
married, I have a wife, I've got two little kids. And
yeah,
when I started pitching this to my wife, like, hey, look, I think that I could do some stuff online. I'd really like to. She was obviously a
yeah,
little bit skeptical, right?
yeah.
But
It's
then
like,
you get
oh,
to this
hang on,
point
let
where
me
it's like,
cook the
oh
dinner
wait, I like
first. Light some candles.
yeah, right,
Yeah,
right. Like, okay, I have a big announcement for you. You know this
yeah,
doctorate degree that we've finished. Actually, actually, I'm going to be teaching online courses.
yeah,
Um, but no, it's been really, really rewarding being at the point where now I can provide for a family online, and it's just astonishing to me that I mean you can go through the work and it's been months and months, right? Like it took a solid like 8 months before we were really at the point of like, all right, we can actually generate some real revenue from this.
yeah,
And and so you think about, okay, am I willing to put in some time? Maybe it's a side hustle at first, and it works
yep.
into
Which is a
your
smart way to
primary
go.
hustle
Yeah,
eventually. But
yeah,
yeah, totally. And that's how it was totally for me. Things really clicked in kind of October, November of last year. And I remember,
yep.
man, I had my first client that I landed helping her with an online course. And I had done
Okay.
1.5 courses at that point. She reached out
Yep.
to me and was like, I want help with the course. And as she sat down with me and I looked at everything that she wanted to do, she's like, all right, how much would this cost me? And I was like, you look at it and you're like, dang, this is actually going to be a whole lot of work. And I quoted her something. It was $4,000, and I was like
Yeah.
shaking when I sent her this email. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to actually tell someone to pay me $4,000.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then when I sent the proposal, she loved it, and she was like, my husband and I want to do this. Like we're all in right now. And I was like,
Yeah.
no
Fantastic.
way, no way, you're kidding me. And that was the moment where I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this can work. Like
Yeah.
I knew it could
Light bulb
conceptually,
moment.
but it hadn't. Like when it first happens, there was so much like validation. And
Yeah.
she sent me a check and I showed it to my wife and I was like, look, this is real. This is
That's
actually
excellent.
happening.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. So man, it's so dang rewarding once you figure out what works
Yep.
and are able to put that into play.
Yeah, absolutely. That's excellent. That's such great news, and it's so surreal in such a short period of time. Like, I only left the 9 to 5 in September, and it's still up and down. I haven't really got to the point yet where it's my goal for the end of the year is 6 figures, which I have no doubt I'll be able to get to, but I'm just still trying to figure out the way. But it's phenomenal that it's just we're able to facilitate such things in such a short period of time, and that's really the power of the internet, where back in the day, there was no internet. There was no way to connect with people. You go to a friend's house, you would just knock on their door and their mom would be there and be like, oh, hey, is Simon home, or is Josh home? And like, nah, hon, they're at X's house. You're like, cool, no worries. So you pedal your bike over and then you go there and hang out. Whereas now it's just a phone call away, which is just awesome. So, it's astonishing. So congrats, man. I mean, the fact you've really figured out your path is excellent. Like, I'm so happy for you. So it's great news.
Dude, so I want to get into some nitty gritty stuff here. I'm very, very much about like, hey, let's do some actionable stuff and get some real
Cool.
takeaways, things that you and
Beautiful.
your audience can come away with. So what are some questions about group growth, monetizing a group, online courses, marketing? What's stuff that you or your audience cares about?
Yeah, okay. Well, I've had a lot of questions in regards to how to grow the group, and I have tried to cover that quite a bit. I did like an hour plus training in regards to how I got it from 0 to 500 people in about a month and a half.
Nice.
It was just under 2 months. So we're at almost 1,000 now. So the group started in November.
Killing it.
And it was a week before Christmas that things really started ramping up. Prior to that, it was just kind of, I guess, what you call standard growth. And I still don't take it as we've done amazingly. And people keep saying, oh, look, average is 100-200 a month. But I mean, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's really real as such. Like, 1,000 people isn't significant, but it is when it's, when you're at 100 and you can't get to 200 and 300. And so, for us to be able to help others grow their groups is phenomenal. So I guess those trying to surpass 200 people is probably a good question. And then also monetization. I think those two ones are really, really the two. As Amanda says, I'm obsessed with all those things, but I don't have any specific questions. That's cool, Amanda. Look, we'll just kind of try and give, actionable value today. I guess, those two main points would probably be good. How to surpass 200 people in a group, and then how to monetize. Or I guess, when did you realize it was time to monetize as well? I guess that's another one, because so many of them don't want to ask.
Yeah, man. So here's how it went down for us. We started with a group of about 100 friends. Like, it was literally 100 PTs that we were really good friends with. We kind of broke the rules and we invited them into the group not without their consent, but we were like, hey, we got this group, like, come join it, right?
Yeah.
0 to 100 was super easy for us because we just reached out to our friends network. From there, the whole like 100 to 500 was a little bit more of a grind, right? And you did it in a month and a half, you said?
It was a grind. Like, I was spending like 4 hours a day on Facebook. Like, it was not
That's the
easy.
thing.
It wasn't just it happened. There was work involved.
Yeah. I want to talk about group growth and group engagement, because we're at the point now where we have 800 people. We've had our group for about 6 months, and we still have about a 90% engagement.
That's great.
Which is just mind blowing to me. And when you look at the fact that a bunch of those are new people that have come in and haven't said anything yet, like, we're in the 90s for engagement. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's our thing. We're very, very specific about who we let in and who we don't. Number one.
Yep.
We have a criteria. You have to be a healthcare provider, and you can't be a marketer. Those are the two qualifiers. If you're in there just to market to our group, like, you get the X.
Of course.
And so we ask qualifying questions. You probably do this in your group too when someone joins. You can ask them questions. We ask, are you a healthcare provider? And do you want our freebie? We have a freebie that we offer people who come in, and it's sort of a primer on digital marketing and healthcare. What's your email address? And we collect email addresses that way. So that's like the basics of group growth, right? Arnie Giske teaches a lot of that. But then we found what works incredibly well for us content-wise, and this works across the board in multiple niches. Whoever you are, wherever you are, this form of content works because I've taught it to a lot of people and it works. We do these mini series in our group. And what I mean by that is we think through what is a specific question that someone has. The easiest way to do that is to poll your group or to ask friends. Be like, hey, what issues are you wondering about in marketing right now? So we do polls fairly frequently. We say, hey guys, what's your biggest problem right now with marketing for your clinic? And people will say, time and time again, it's Facebook ads, right? That's always the thing for the people in my niche, is understanding Facebook ads. So say, great, what would we teach someone to get them from not knowing about Facebook ads to being able to run their first ad. And we break it down into 5 to 7 days of content. I like 5 days
Yep.
because then you can fit everything into a week. And
Yeah, cool.
then we say, okay, day one, we're going to talk about an intro to Facebook and the platform and how Facebook ads are different than a Facebook page and sort of an overview of the ads platform. And then day
Yep.
two, we're going to talk about targeting. Day three, we're going to talk about ad copy. Day four, we're going to talk about actually setting up the ad and split testing it. Day five, we're going to talk about metrics, analysis, and how to know if your ad was good and what to do next. Like that's how we break down our thought process. So we come
Yeah,
up with a
awesome.
series like that. And this can
Yep.
be anything for your niche. If your niche is entrepreneurs, then it's how to start your first business, right? If your niche is, I don't know, teaching people sewing online, then it's coming up with a plan like, here's how to sew this amazing quilt, day 1 to 5.
Yeah, cool.
Whatever your people are listening to, come up with that. And then we make one post about 2 to 3 days beforehand that's sort of a hype and announcement post. So we say, hey
Yep.
guys, we have an entire free course that we're putting out in the group over the next 5 days
Yep.
or over, starting on Monday. It's going to cover Mondays this, Tuesdays this, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are these things. If you want
Yep.
to be part of this and you want to follow along, you want this at the top of your newsfeed, let us know and we'll tag you. That post gets the most engagement of any post that we make in our group. People
Beautiful.
are like, oh my gosh, yes, this is amazing. You guys, I can't believe it. This is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we get massive engagement on a post. Tons of people are seeing it, commenting on it, right? So
Yeah.
natural engagement that Facebook really likes. It's not clickbait. And then we run a video series through our course or through our Facebook group that
Yep.
could be a course. Like we probably should be charging for it. And at the end of those 5 days, we'll either do like a recap of everything, or we'll do a live Q&A where we jump on a Zoom
Yeah.
call and everyone can sit there and ask us questions. And then we summarize it, put it in a PDF, and offer that as a lead magnet to people. So we say, hey,
Cool.
if you want a summary of everything that we covered in the past 5 days, we have a PDF that we've just put together.
Yep.
Let us know and we'll get it to you. And everyone's like, yes, 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 I want that, I want that.
Cool.
Send them to a landing page or to a chat bot, and we get their information.
Awesome.
That is exactly how I monetized my group.
Yeah.
And you're
Okay.
thinking,
Nice.
well, how did you like monetize that? That's how we started off. We started off with a totally free series. For us, it
Yep.
lasted a month. The first one, it lasted we had 14 different like 14 different lessons within this series over the course of a month. And
Yeah.
we took those videos, put them in a course because everyone was like, yo, this is like so intensely awesome, you guys, but I can't keep up. That's what you'll get if you do something like
Yeah.
this. If it's really good high level content, people will be like, I can't keep up, guys. Like I just can't. Like, do you have it somewhere
Send me
for
the
me?
cheat sheet.
Please, like
Just
put it
send
somewhere. I'll pay you.
it. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and that was when we knew it was time to monetize. People were
Yeah.
like, put this in a course. We're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. If
And
I
so
have
that was the skeleton of
to.
our course. Yeah, no, if I have to. No, and then it gave us exactly what people liked,
Yeah.
and then we created more modules, and we ended up with something like 8 modules, 40 videos for our first course. Ridiculously underpriced it at $100. Did a bunch of hype posts leading up to it.
Yep.
Launched it on Black Friday. In about 48 hours, we'd sold 100 grand, or not 100 grand. We sold 100 of them at
Yep.
1,000 a piece for 10 grand.
Yeah. That's
And
phenomenal. Yeah.
totally like mind blown at that. Just
Yeah. It's like,
just blown away.
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that's the process. And then as a follow-up to that, if you do a course like that, you should have something in place for paid, like a paid mastermind. And our
Okay.
paid mastermind came a couple weeks after because we didn't realize it till then. But a bunch of people wanted more in-depth like hand-holding through it because
Yep.
the course was more just like a library than like live hand-holding. So we
Yeah.
came
Okay.
up with
Yeah.
a 6-week program, walking people through here's how to set up a value ladder and figure out for your clinic, what's a lead magnet going to be, who are you serving, what's your whole value ladder, and then creating
Yeah.
that and running their first ads to it. And we launched that at $300 a pop. We opened up
Yep.
6 spots. They filled up instantly, so we opened up another 4 for an even 10. Filled the whole thing
Yep.
up in 24 hours, and
Yeah.
we have a
Fantastic.
business that's generated 15 grand in the matter of a couple months.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Just because we're providing consistent value and then giving people an outlet to get more.
Awesome. Man, that's awesome. Like, congrats. That's fantastic. And I think a lot of people here, you know, just from that value alone is going to be able to utilize that and leverage that so much. So Laura had a question. Are you using paid ads targeting your audience? So do you do any like email retargeting sequences or what do you do there?
So our sales 100% happened in the group. We have done zero advertising to our group. Now, if you're talking about actual, we didn't spend a penny on it. We spent money on ClickFunnels. We built our whole site within ClickFunnels and our whole course. But yeah, no targeting yet. We probably honestly won't get to actually running ads for this course and the other courses that we've since produced until, I don't know, maybe mid this year. Like once we find that our group is sort of saturated, which is not going to happen because it just keeps growing. People are already asking us like, when is your course launching again? Please, because we've closed it. I don't know that we'll need to do too much advertising, to be honest, Laura. In terms of marketing, with the clients that I help marketing for their clinics, yes, we use targeting ads. So we set up what's called a custom audience. So we look at people who've been to their website or an email list or with a chat bot, right? We would definitely target. But for our group, no paid advertising yet.
Yeah, no, awesome. That's great. Now, I got a question. What is stickball? You mentioned before that you're a big fan of stickball. I got to know, what is stickball?
Okay, spikeball.
Spikeball. All right, spikeball. All right.
Man, so Spikeball is actually in Australia as well. I actually worked for the company I did it as a side hustle in school. And Spikeball, look it up on YouTube, dude, because it is amazing. Buy yourself a set. But it's a game that's it's the birth child of Foursquare and volleyball. I don't know if you guys have Foursquare where you're at.
Okay,
It's really fun.
Is that like an Olympic game now or something close?
I wish, not quite yet. No, it's a newer thing, but I play it not nearly enough, but love it to death. So after entrepreneurship, in terms of things I do when I'm not with my family, or even when I'm with my family, we're spikeballing.
Nice. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the Commonwealth Games or something, but there was like doing Foursquare, and it was these grown men playing Foursquare. I was like, what the hell? Like, I remember playing this as a kid, and now it's televised on TV. Yeah. Okay. No, I'll definitely have to YouTube it.
I know it.
That's why I was like,
it's great fun, and I've worked for the company for a couple of years now, and so I love it to death.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dude, that's really cool. I'm just all about the side hustle until you can fully support yourself in whatever you end up wanting to do. I talk about this group, but I have other courses and I have other income streams, and that's just I feel like you have to be willing to diversify what you're doing, especially if you take the plunge like yourself and you're like, all right, 9 to 5 is done. How else can I make things happen until the primary income, really starts rolling in? So gotta be willing to do stuff like that.
Definitely. And like for myself, I always had side hustles, always wanted to have my own business. And the side hustles they weren't working for me. So in September, I was like, nah, look, I've tried the side hustles. Obviously it hasn't worked for me. At one point I burned myself out for like 6 months just because I was working like hardcore, like after work and I had all these different things going on. I was like, this just isn't feasible. So in September, I just left the 9 to 5 and I just jumped all in. I had a bit of savings to back me. It's been 4 months now and I'm getting revenue in. So it's fantastic, but I still want to kind of re-get that 6 figures that I gave up by having the 9 to 5. So that's why by the end of the year, I really want to hit that again, and it was very different to, just give up a cushy, stable income. But for me, it wasn't about the stability. It was about creating something. And I really, really, really wanted to create something. So I was like, all right, look, it's time. I've waited. I'm 29. So I'm doing it. So, it's something that, if you can do that and you've got multiple streams of revenue and you're diversifying, then absolutely, like, the key is success. They say that the average millionaire has, don't quote me on this, but I think it's roughly 7 streams of income. So I've
heard that.
Yeah. So if you've got 1 or 2, like, that's fantastic. But
let's get cracking on it. So Ross, I've got a question for you then. I'll put you in the hot seat a little bit. How do you see yourself monetizing what you're doing at this point? You've got a group of followers now. What does your group need? How do you see yourself serving them?
That's the thing, like coming back to before about the whole asking thing, like I'm still not at a point where I feel comfortable asking the community. Like for instance, with the podcast, I want to monetize from that, having sponsorship or whatever. And I'm getting a lot of questions, but I feel that, I will figure out what I want to do with the group, because the community is fantastic, but I'm not at that stage where I feel I can just say, hey guys, I'll give you a service, but pay me money, so it's a case of I've got a web development business and I've had a few from the group reach out to me and we've hooked it up. So I'm building them sites. I had a coffee with someone in Adelaide recently and they're like, well, why aren't you building an Adelaide audience? And I was like, yeah, I should probably do that as well. Like with my thought process was with web design, in the States, the dollar's 30% stronger than the Australian dollar. So I can either do the same work and get paid 30% more, or and the dollar's dropped a little bit, so it's a bit different at the moment. But on average, it's been around there.
Yeah.
Or what I can do is offer a really competitive price point and blow the competition out of the water. And it was a case of that's been great, but at the same time, I thought, well, from a business perspective, I also enjoy the meetings, the coffees, that sort of thing. Like virtual coffees are fantastic, and I love this. This is great. But I was thinking, all right, I might as well start leveraging an Adelaide audience as well. And so it was only Saturday that I had the coffee. And since Saturday, I then had the idea. So since then, I've procured the Mayor of Adelaide to come on the show in February. And Fresh 927 is our largest, Adelaide's largest millennial radio station. So their general manager's coming on as well. And they're really just the people I could think of. I was like, well, who else can I reach out to? And if you don't ask, you won't get. Like we had a guest on yesterday, and you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I saw that.
And when I asked the mayor, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, he's not coming on. Like, hands down, it's just the highest failure I can get, And instead, his marketing team or whatever reached out to me, and they're like, let us hear more. And I was like, all right, look, I'll send you one of the safe podcasts, one of the ones where it's, it's more of a respectful chat, because sometimes, guys come on and we'll just be like, yeah, fuck, like, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, no, look, for the mayor, like, go be a lot more respectful.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and then since then, it was only yesterday they agreed to it. Then since then, I've already procured a free, basically a video crew to come pro bono, and they'll get the credit for filming it. So, and that was in like 3 hours. I just emailed the shit out of heaps of people, made some calls. I didn't know anyone. It was purely cold emails and calls. But if you don't ask, you're not going to get, so you just got to get that hustle.
You do.
So,
dude, okay, so here's the thing, Ross. You got to start asking your audience what they want, okay? And it doesn't have to be in a salesy way, right? Dude, put some polls out there like, hey, what's the most important thing to you in serving your niche right now? Like if that's your thing, or if it's like, hey, how do you, what's the most important thing for growing your business? Whatever that is, ask the question and you'll start getting some clear responses. You put some content out around that, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, this stuff is so good. Give me more, give me more. Then it's time to take it to the next level, create a course around it. We did that same thing again in my group with a poll. So we did the Facebook ads thing, right? We do that a lot. But then the next most important thing was video editing. And lots of owners in our group are trying to do their own video editing to create content, right? And I love video editing. I use Camtasia like crazy. So I was like, all right, I field a lot of questions every week about Camtasia and how to do this and that. I was like, screw it, I'm going to create a course around that. So I just sat down, and same process as before with Facebook. All right, what would I teach someone at the basic level, and then at the advanced level? Like, what are all the skills that I need to know? Dude, this is how you create a course for people. You just sit down and think, what would I teach someone? And if they're sitting next to me, right? And I went the whole process. I challenged myself this week to see if I could not drag my feet on this. And from planning it out, right? From planning it out to filming it, to editing it, to uploading it to ClickFunnels, like creating the entire membership site for it, was less than 4 days of work. It was like 3 part-time days of work. And now we have a 35 video course on video editing that we finished in like 15 hours, maybe 20, to put the whole thing together. And it's like,
that's crazy.
I think that we get so caught up in the fact that what I put out has to be perfect. It has to be the biggest thing ever. Getting started is more important than any of that. And that's what I'm finding with myself, is that the most important thing for my business right now is just trying. Like, go ask what people want, deliver something, and then get feedback on it, and then improve it, rather than sit around, twiddle my thumbs, like, crap, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Dragging my feet, feeling like I'm not ready. We're ready to get started. And that's what I've really been trying to drive into my own head this past week. Yeah, right, Amanda, recovering perfectionist. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
like
I fall in that trap too.
we get,
It's so easy. It's so easy too, because you just, if you're going to, it's just from my perspective, and I know it's more just getting out there. And like the first few episodes, it was just really like, even now it's amateur hour, but it's still like a big improvement compared to what it was. And even then people, they're like, oh, we love the show and that sort of thing. And it's like, well, if I'm putting out content and then I'm going to be asking for you to pay me for it, I really want it to just be absolutely perfect. But it's not the case. Like if you're offering value to someone and they're actually learning from that and they're going to be able to leverage that to build their business, it doesn't matter if it's on an iPhone. Like it really doesn't. And I know this, and I know these are words coming out of my mouth, but it's still something I'm trying to get over. Like I know it, I'm just not doing it.
right. Okay, so then here's the next thing. Ross, you need to do this in the next month, man. Whether that's so I'm really big on online
next
courses.
week.
Okay. So I'm really big on online courses because especially early on when like all of your following is just on your friends list, but maybe you have a few professional connections.
Yeah.
Like I'm just big on validating an idea and pursuing it to completion. So for example, my very first foray into this came, it wasn't long ago. It's not like I've done this for years. It came, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. A friend and I were like, hey, look, we know how to do, we have this system that we came up with it's essentially travel hacking, right? It's using credit card rewards. We've done it for years. We have questions on it all the time. We'd never thought to do a course on it until it dawned on me, like, people ask me all the time. I should just have a resource to send them to and say, here, look, go to this resource. It's totally in depth. And so we started putting feelers out to a couple friends and we're like, hey, is this something, like if we made a course on this, is this something that you'd want to use to learn how to do this? And they're like, oh yeah, totally. So started with my friends network, asked them. My friends were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Next, I went to my Facebook friends and I made like 3 little posts. And if you want to go like funnel hack me, you can go look at my page and see it wasn't that long ago. And I just said, hey, I went on this great vacation and it was totally free because I used all these points. I totally forgot to talk about it. I'm thinking about like starting to share how we did this. Is anyone interested?
Yeah.
I got all this response. People like, yes, please, please. So it's like, ding, light bulb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all we did was said, hey, look, instead of going through an entire like course creation process and spending 6 months on it, let's just launch a beta group. And so all we did, really super simple, we said, hey guys, we have a private Facebook group that we're going to be using to run this. We're going to have a beta group run through our entire program. And it's going to be a 6 or an 8 week program. And it's going to be $50. You're going to get access to us live in the group. Plus, we're going to be putting these modules out. So literally, like we just did Facebook Lives in the group. That was our course. And we got 20 people to sign up. It was $1,000 that we made on the front end before we created a single darn thing in a free Facebook group. Like there was 0 out-of-pocket cost to do this. And it validated the fact that people pay for this content. We did the course. We got testimonials. Now we filmed the whole thing. I'm editing it all right now and actually about to release it. And it's like, that was so much better than like slaving over it for a year before like, okay, it's ready for the world to see. And then not knowing if people would really
it's shiny. It's good. Yeah, I hear.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Laura, you just said that that's exactly where you're at. You're bombarded with requests for information. That is where you make your brain into a course that you can send people to. And let me just tell you, it is like A, it's nice to have income. But B, it is so liberating to tell people, yes, I can help you with that. Here's one little video. If you want more, let me know. I've got a whole course on it. And then you're valuing yourself and your time and your information, because otherwise it's like, oh yeah, I'll get on a call with you, and you do a free call. And if you do 10 free calls a week, trying to help people out, it's 10 hours of your week that you could spend working and building your actual business. And I get personal connections are super important. I'm on free calls all the time. But if you have something like that to send people to, Laura, it's suddenly it just opens up this whole world of like, oh yeah, I value my time. People should too. If they want access to my brain, like I put it into this perfect package for them. Man, it's freeing, Laura. It really is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, there's some great value here. So no doubt that everyone tuning in is going to get some value. So everyone that is listening, thank you so much for investing your time with us. If you are getting value, if you could drop #value, just so we know you are listening and that you are getting value from this, that would be fantastic. Because the more content that, you know, we give, then the more we want to know that you're actually getting value from it. So, you know, that way we know to continue on doing this, because as much as, you know, we're fully booked out with guests until March, I want to know that by March, people are, you know, you're listening, you're actually getting value from this, because otherwise I can very easily leverage my time better to offer you and serve you in a different way. So if the podcast is where it's at, please let us know. #value. Thank you, Laura. We'd love to hear from you. So Alex, this is fantastic, man. Like some absolute fantastic value there. So yeah, what are the businesses have you got going on? Because you said that you've got, thanks, Daniel. You said that, yeah, you've got a few different things going on in regards to a few different courses, and you've got the travel hacks. I guess a better question is, how did this all come together? That's really, when did it, yeah, how did that happen?
Man, I finally graduated and actually had time on my hands. Now, so I've been in this process for the better part of 2 years.
Yep.
I bought a course by Ramit Sethi called Zero to Launch. Some of you have probably heard of that. He's the guy who wrote the book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich.
Okay.
And it's a course on building courses. And I dragged my feet, you guys, for so long because I wanted the perfect idea. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, and then I'll invest all this time. And like, I could never get past the research phase. That was what always tripped me up, was research. Like, how do I figure out if this is important to people?
Yeah.
And so I dragged my feet. And then when I realized, like, I can just simply ask people. Like, I can put a post up on my Facebook page. I can put a post in Reddit and say, hey, so I'm super curious. I'm a business owner, and I've been learning about business. Like, what are the biggest struggles y'all have in business right now? Like, what's the hardest thing about running a business? Great, like there's product research. When I realized that it was that simple, of just like seriously putting out a poll, talking to a couple people, and then realizing what people were coming to me to ask for, it's not like it really clicked, but it was just like, okay, people asked me about this. I could produce something for them that's my brain without my time, right?
Yeah.
So they can access me without spending my time, or even with spending my time. But yeah, it all really came together in the past, like I said, 6 months, as I realized what I have to share is valuable. I honed in on a voice and how I wanted to present myself. And I've always very much taken the role of like, look, guys, I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just learning this. That was very much our tone from the beginning of our group. Is, hey guys, we're just learning digital marketing. Like, we're digital marketing students, and we're just going to be here to share what we're learning. And instantly, people were like, oh my gosh, I want to know what they're learning. Like, that was it. You don't have to be the expert. We were not the experts. We still don't tout ourselves as that. We're just people who have more time to spend thinking about it than someone else does, and so other people will pay us for the knowledge that we've gathered.
Yeah, fantastic. No, that's some great insight. Yeah, Alex, that's awesome. And man, I'm wondering, how did you get into being a uni mascot? That's one off the cuff question I've got there.
So yeah, I was about halfway through college, and I saw an announcement on Facebook that my college was looking. Where it was a Division I college. Like, it's the University of Utah. It's a big place, and so we have mascot tryouts. And I was like, mascot tryouts? That sounds fun. I'll show up. And I had never done anything like that before in my life. Showed up. I was the only person who showed up, and that is how you beat the competition.
Yeah, you just show up.
That's it. So literally, I showed up. They're like, hey, we'll throw you in the furry suit. I was a giant bird. I've got pictures of it. I'll have to post it somewhere.
I'd love to. Please DM me those later. Please, absolutely DM me those later.
Okay, all right. I'll DM you the photo. I've got a good one.
Awesome.
But I was this mascot, and it was really interesting. I did it throughout the last 2 years of my undergrad, and then the first year of my doctoral program. And when we had our second child, I was like, all right, it's too much. I can't take it anymore. Just too much going on. But I learned some really cool things that have applied really well to my business. The biggest thing I learned is that you always want to leave someone with a smile. And as a mascot, you're the symbol of a team. You're the symbol of a school. Like, you're representing them, right? And when people see you, there's a whole bunch of emotions that they could have. They could be scared. They could think you're stupid. They could think you're funny. They could absolutely love you. My goal as the mascot was, every time I'm leaving an interaction, I want people to think, I like that guy. I wanted to leave people with a smile on their face. And I think people approach our businesses with all those same cynicisms and skepticisms and thinking, this person's just trying to get money out of me. and oh my gosh, like what a fake, like they don't know what they're talking about. People approach all of us with some of those in the back of their minds. And
Yeah.
my goal in every business interaction is to leave someone with a smile, give them something actionable that they can do as a result of our interactions.
Yeah.
And I learned that as a mascot. And so, dude, going from like scaring little kids to online business, there's actually not that big of a chasm between it.
Yeah, I can definitely see the closeness of it. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really cool. So, Alex, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. This has been an absolute blast. Like, I've had so much fun. You've offered some absolute fantastic value for everyone at home and everyone listening. How do they get in contact with you so you can help them with their businesses?
Man, so anyone's welcome to friend me personally on Facebook. Alex Engar, Engar is my name. You can personally friend me on Facebook. If you are a healthcare provider, you can get in our group, Healthcare Digital Marketing.
Yep.
Like I said, we're fairly stringent on who we let in and who we don't. So
Yeah.
sorry about that, but that's just how it is. But you can listen. We've got a podcast that we just released this week that talks about digital marketing and how to build up a brand, specifically applying more to healthcare professionals, but really small businesses. And that's called the Healthy Funnel Podcast. That's our brand is
Cool.
Healthy Funnel. So you can check us
Yeah.
out, healthyfunnel.com. And look at we've got all these resources. We have so many things on. It's funny, I get on calls and I'm like, oh yeah, I got a video about that. Oh, I have a series about that. I have this about that. So if you
Yeah.
want to learn about Facebook advertising, if you want to learn an easy way to plan out your own course, I have a whole free PDF that I now use with clients of here's how to plan out a course. Healthyfunnel.com, or get in touch with me personally.
Awesome. Alex, thank you so much for coming on. Alex Engar, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for your time, man. And for everyone tuning in at home, thank you so much for investing your time with us here today. So, Alex, yeah, man, we'll keep in touch. I absolutely want to hear how everything's going, and DM me those
Sounds
pictures.
good, Ross. Will do, man. Thank you so much for having me on here. I love to chat, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, chat soon.